guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Sarah from Who I Am Among the Pages, and it has been a while. I had started to get back into making videos when I moved down to my apartment at school, thinking that, hey, it's an online semester, I'll have more time. And if anybody watching is a student, you probably know that somehow an online semester is so much more work intensive than an in-person semester. Like, I'm not physically going to class, but holy cow, is it so much more homework. I guess professors, in my case at least, feeling like they have to compensate for the lack of in-person experience. I'm not really sure what the thought process is, but yeah, it has been an experience. But you know, it's definitely been a rough semester. I'm a junior, so things are definitely more work intensive period than they've been so far in my college career. And the classes I'm taking, one of them is creative writing fiction, and just the nature of it, writing stories takes a while, especially because it's a workshop class and you want to have pieces, you know, that your entire class is going to read, that your professor, who is a very accomplished writer himself, is going to read. You want to be able to produce something you're proud of, or at least I'm a stickler about that. So it takes time, and I'm taking a creative writing poetry class, and I have never really been a poet, so trying to come up with things that I'm proud of, it takes time. So there's that, there's the school part. And if you hear any clicking or squeaking or any little animal noises, I also fairly recently, back in, it was August 26th and 28th, I think, I got two guinea pigs. So I was thinking about doing a video introducing them because they're very sweet and I think that they can bring a lot of people joy right now. I mean, they sure have brightened up my life considerably since getting them. So yeah, if you hear any noises, it's just them. But of course, I'm not going to stop them from drinking water or just existing so I can film a YouTube video. But yeah, if anybody's looking for a small pet, they are a lot of work. But a small, affectionate, loving pet, get a pair of guinea pigs. They're wonderful. And, you know, a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I was a kid, I think I was in kindergarten, a girl in my class who now goes to a college 10 minutes down the road from me and is also majoring in education, had a birthday party at this, like, make your own plate kind of place. We called it the Polka Dot Pot, and I painted a guinea pig. So although mine looked nothing like that one, of course, it's still, you know, I thought it was kind of funny. So I got my guinea pigs. They've been so wonderful. I've learned so much, and I really enjoyed having them. Shortly after that, about a month later, I actually got COVID. Yeah. My college campus, Virginia Tech, unfortunately, we've had issues. We've had huge issues with controlling COVID. And it's not necessarily entirely the students' fault, because really there's a lot our administration could be doing that they're not doing. But on the flip side, it's, you know, it's not entirely the administration's fault, because we do have a fair amount of our student body that is refusing to take the precautions seriously. So, you know, you want to blame somebody, but really everybody has their finger in the pot, and no one person can really be blamed for it. So it was late September. It was actually the day of Virginia Tech's first home football game. My boyfriend and I, Bill, who's been in a couple of videos, he had started showing symptoms like he had a cold, and he really did think he just had a cold. But then I started coughing, like, bad. So the university was doing walk-up testing without appointments. We went and he got tested, but they wouldn't test me because I had a cough. Never did get a straight answer on what that explanation was, but anyway, I couldn't get tested that day. I got tested the next day, so the game was Saturday. That's when we started showing symptoms. Sunday is when Bill got tested, and then Monday is when I got tested. The day after my test, he came back positive. So because we don't officially live together, but we spend every waking moment together, so there was no doubt that if he was positive, I was positive, and we had to quarantine. So the day after that, so then that puts us at Wednesday, I got my test results back, and I was pretty significantly sicker than I had been when I got tested. And the test came back negative, and they told me that I had to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks after Bill's quarantine would have ended. So that would have put me getting out of quarantine on October 24th, I think. And at that point, every day that went by, I was feeling worse. And I had the whole laundry list of symptoms, and it is no joke. You get sick, like really sick. And I'm in one of the lowest risk groups, but it still kicked my butt. And I still don't fully have my taste and smell back. And from what I've been told, the wonderful people, health professionals at our health center down on campus said that for some people it never does come back from what they've seen, as long as we've had the virus around. Um, but I was lucky. All in all, as bad as I felt, I had a relatively mild case, and because there was confusion about whether I was positive or negative and kept getting sicker, they wanted me to come in and get retested because there was no way that I didn't have it. I was sleeping next to somebody that was positive, and he was getting better, and I was getting worse. So I got retested that Friday, and surprise, surprise, that was positive, but we already knew. Um, so I came out of quarantine on the 16th of October, so we're coming up on a month now, and oh my god, nothing feels better than being able to just walk outside without feeling like you are a biohazard. Um, Going and getting the mail is such a privilege that we really take for granted, or a lot of us, I think, take for granted. Being able to do your laundry without worrying about if you're going to give your roommates a deadly disease. The little things that you really don't think about. But luckily, thankfully, I'm fine. Bill's fine. Neither of my roommates ended up getting it. They still had to isolate because having been in contact with us. But as far as we know, they never got it. So never showed symptoms. Everybody was fine. The last part of October, I did have to come home on a family emergency, but so far, knock on wood, and I am gonna, everything is doing a little bit better now. So here I am, and I'm gonna be home for the rest of the semester. Eventually, I would like to get back down to school and get like my TBR pile, because you can probably see the bookshelves behind me are actually pretty barren for my standards, especially my fantasy shelf down there below the required shelf is empty. Most of my books are still on my bookcase at school because I left in a hurry. I packed up my guinea pigs, packed my bag, and came home. It's a 3.5 hour drive, and it was a school day, so I really just wanted to get the drive done. And brought a few things with me. The book I was reading, which actually I have to say is very good. I was in a spooky mood. I've been reading this for like a shamefully long time, but it is Insomnia by Stephen King, and I am on page 366 out of like 895, 897. So yeah, this is a chunky boy, but it's really good. I'd really recommend it. Good creepy book. And if anybody was going to be interested, I had also read R.L. Stine's super thriller bind-up of Don't Stay Up Late and Party Games. If I'm sure everybody's familiar with R.L. Stine. He wrote the Goosebumps books that all of our friends freaked us out with in, second grade. But he's also delved into YA novels, and they're actually pretty good. I mean, they're super corny. But that's R.L. Stine's brand of horror. It's not Stephen King. It doesn't have a sophistication to it. It doesn't try to make art out of horror. It's good, creepy Halloween fun. And yeah, we're past Halloween, but I mean, come on. A good creepy story is a good creepy story. I am trying to get in the mood for the holidays and trying to find Christmas themed books, because last year I did read, it's on the shelf somewhere, The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and it's by Cynthia Hond. I think I've heard it pronounced different ways. And oh my god, this is so good. If anybody hasn't read it, it is basically a retelling of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And actually, I hated this story as a kid. The Christmas Carol, I remember watching the Mickey Mouse A Christmas Carol, and it creeped the hell out of me. I hated everything about it. I was like a scared little kid. I did not like creepy things. I hated Halloween for years because of that. I remember being scared to death to go into Walmart with my mom to get groceries, because we have a Walmart Supercenter. It's actually the one I worked at in high school. But at Halloween, they always had like the life-size animatronic, like skeleton butler, that kind of thing, and it just scared the hell out of me. I hated it. So never thought I'd actually like any kind of A Christmas Carol retelling, but this is actually very good, and I am very guilty too of never having read really anything by Dickens. I know I'm an English major, like I've read the essential, like Heart of Darkness, but I've never read A Christmas Carol. I've read several of Dickens' short stories, but I haven't touched A Tale of Two Cities, A Christmas Carol, Great Expectations. Like I know I should have, and really one of them I was already supposed to read for a class and kind of skipped out on it. Don't do that, kids. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, it's a really good story, and I'm trying to find other Christmas themed books. So if anybody has any ideas, again, I'm really trying to get into the holidays this year. So if you have any ideas, please comment below. Like I like really a little bit of everything. Um, I grew up reading like my mom's like murder mysteries, Patricia Cornwell and Janet Evanovich. As I got older, I got into like the YA fantasy, and you can see all the Throne of Glass over here. There's really not much that I don't like to read other than like straight romance. That really isn't my thing, but I do like romance when it's in a fantasy setting, or like I do have a thing. I like the Scottish ones, like as cringy as that is. But really anything Christmas themed. I would love to hear your suggestions because I just want to get into the mood. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for everybody. I'm just ready to put up the tree, put up the lights, call it a day. And, it's looking like 2021 is going to be better. And I hope it is for all of us. Because I don't know a single person that can say that 2020 has been their year. So yeah, hopefully I'm in the mood. I might record a few more videos today. I know last time I talked to you, one of the last times, I had promised a review, a book rant of The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and honestly it has been a hot minute since I've read this at this point. But I remember like my really strong feelings towards it, so I would still like to talk about it. Just, I guess, play a game, see how much I can remember, maybe see if I can find some trivia and do on camera. That should be pretty funny. And as soon as I can get back down to school, I am going to pick up my copy. I had literally ordered it and received it a day before I left down there. But I have gotten the sequel to American Royals by Katharine McGee, which I did a book rant on, and you can go back and watch it. It's in the playlist of book rants, but I loved it so much. So I would like to read that, and I know I'll devour it because I was so traumatized when I finished it and there wasn't already a sequel. So there'll be a book rant coming out on that, and hopefully I'm going to finish the book I'm reading very soon. And I think the next one on my list is actually a little guy that I picked up from the local used bookstore, and I should probably take the little tag out of it because otherwise you guys will know where I am. And it is Girl in Blue by Anne Rinaldi, and I read this, I guess I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade. I think I was in the 4th grade because I remember my cousin had just had a baby, and he's, that was like 2010, so it's probably 4th grade. Guys didn't know I'm 20. I was a millennial baby. A millennium baby, I guess. But so this is a story about a girl, and her name was Sarah. Yeah, Sarah Louisa. She runs away, disguises herself as a boy, and fights in the Civil War. And although I don't think on this channel I've actually talked about really any historical fiction, for years and years and years, historical fiction, after reading the Magic Tree House books, was just my favorite of all time. And I read this book over Thanksgiving break, and I remember on Thanksgiving Day, while Mom was getting dinner ready, it was like the first Thanksgiving that we'd ever spent at our house because, again, my cousin had just had a baby, and it was like our year where we'd go see that side of the family, but we all had colds, and of course it's never a good idea to go around a newborn baby with other if I was 10, my siblings were 7. So it's not a good idea to take sick kids around a newborn. So we had stayed home that year, and I remember sitting on the couch, our old sofa, and curling up by my favorite lamp and reading like 95% of this on Thanksgiving Day. So even though it's not a Christmas story, there is nothing Christmassy about it. I always associate this with Thanksgiving, and I remember loving it so much because the main character had my name, and um, I love the Civil War. Like, I've had a lot of family. I had a ton of family in the Civil War, and I live in a place that is very entrenched in the history of the war. So I grew up with it as much as anything else. Um, and I love this book, and I can't wait to read it again. And as far as I know, this is actually out of print, so I don't know if you'll ever be able to find a copy of it. This is like the exact same copy that I remember reading from the library, the Scholastic book. But it just happened to be sitting on the shelf of my favorite used bookstore. It was like the day after I came home, and I wanted to just get out and go back there because I hadn't been in there since August. The owner knows me by name. But so I got this, and then I remember distinctly, I'm going to pull out that little pack again, reading The Secret of Sarah Revere, also by Anne Rinaldi. She is Paul Revere's daughter, and I remember she knows the secret of who fired the first shot at Lexington Concord, the first battle of the American Revolution. Again, it's been a lot longer since I've read this one, because I read this before I read Girl in Blue. And then I got another one of her books, Finishing Becca, which is also during the American Revolution. It's down there on the shelf. So yeah, I'm having to read these soon because they bring back some really good memories, and it has been there. Ooh, you can see the tag there. It has been a rough time. So yeah, and that's also a little book haul. These are the only 3 books I've gotten recently that I have here. The only other one I've gotten is the sequel to American Royals. So I realize that this is probably a very, very boring video to watch, but I was in the mood to do something different, and I never intended to drop off the face of the planet with my YouTube channel. I really would like to be able to, keep up with things, and now, I'm home, and I had to leave my job at school to be able to come home and take care of things. And I'm so lucky. My bosses are great, and I have a job waiting for me when I get back in the spring semester. So I'm able to be home. I have a tripod. Filming's a lot easier. Back in my room, back in my little sanctuary, because, your childhood bedroom nothing is ever gonna feel quite as comfortable. At least in my opinion. Like, I'm very lucky. My apartment down at school is very nice, but it'll never be home like this place will. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. Again, I'll probably film a few more, so I'll probably be wearing the same thing. Might upload them all at once. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. So hopefully I will see you very soon because I'm kind of enjoying this, so I'll probably film a few more. Alright, thanks for watching.